Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into something absolutely crucial for managing multiple sclerosis, the deep, inseparable connection between your mind and your body. We're going to go beyond just the physical symptoms to really understand how looking after the whole person is where the magic happens.
This quote just nails it, doesn't it? If you're living with MS, you know this in your bones. It's a holistic challenge. The disease isn't just happening in your nervous system, it really shapes your entire world.
So first things first, let's talk about why looking at MS from a purely physical angle just doesn't cut it, and why we need a much bigger perspective to really manage it well.
Thinking of MS as only a physical disease, it's like trying to solve a giant puzzle with only one piece. It touches every single part of your life, your thoughts, your feelings, your relationships, even how you see your place in the world. And really, truly getting that, that's the first huge step toward improving your overall quality of life.
Okay, so we've established this link. Now, let's get into the science of it all. We're going to explore why this connection is so powerful and how what's happening in your head can physically affect your body.
There's actually a whole field of science that gives us the blueprint for this. It's called psychoneuroimmunology. Yeah, it's a mouthful, so we just call it PNI. But all it really is the science that maps out exactly how your thoughts and feelings are in a constant conversation with your nervous system and your immune system. The two systems right at the heart of MS.
And this is where things get really tricky, because it can create this vicious cycle. Chronic stress isn't just a bad feeling, right? It's a real, physiological event. It messes with your immune system, and that can trigger an MS flare-up. Of course, that flare-up causes more stress, more anxiety, and boom, the cycle just keeps going.
And this isn't just some theory. The data is crystal clear. Experiencing major stressful life events can crank up the risk of an MS attack by a whopping 17 to 30%. That is not a small number. It's hard proof of how much power the mind has over the physical disease.
So, over time, that constant cycle of stress leads to what scientists call allostatic load. The best way to think about it is like the cumulative wear and tear on your body from being stuck in high alert mode. It just grinds you down, leaving you more vulnerable to inflammation and, disease progression.
So, we've seen the science. It's fascinating. But let's bring this back down to earth, back to the day-to-day. What does this internal imbalance actually feel like when you're living with MS?
Just think about it for a second. For you personally, what does this feel like? Because while the science gives us a framework, it's the daily reality. That's what really, truly matters.
For so many people, it shows up like this. That crushing fatigue that's so much more than just being tired. That chronic pain. That incredibly frustrating brain fog. These aren't just a random collection of symptoms. They are often the direct result of that stress cycle, that allostatic load just wearing the whole system down.
Okay, we've defined the problem, and it's a tough one. But the good news is, we're not stuck. Now we get to pivot. We're going to talk about powerful, evidence-based tools that can help you break that cycle and get back some balance.
And there is a fantastic toolkit out there. And these are not just nice-to-have ideas. These are therapies with solid, scientific proof that they improve well-being for people with MS. And what's so cool is they actively work to dismantle that vicious stress cycle we were just talking about.
So let's break this down. CBT helps you spot and rewire those thought patterns that aren't helping you. ACT is about learning to make room for difficult feelings while staying committed to what you value. And mindfulness, it can literally reduce stress and improve how your brain is wired. The common thread here is empowerment. Each one gives you a way to change your relationship with your own mind, which in turn has a direct impact on your body.
And it's not all about formal therapy either. These daily habits are so foundational. An anti-inflammatory diet, exercise that works for your body, a routine that helps conserve your energy. Don't think of these as small things. Think of them as building blocks. Each one makes the others stronger, creating a really powerful, stable base for your health.
So, what is the ultimate goal here? All of these tools, the therapies, the daily habits, they're all pointing towards something much, much deeper than just managing symptoms. They're pointing the way toward a profound shift in your mindset, toward a kind of psychological freedom.
The ancient Greeks had this amazing word for it, eudaimonia,
It's often translated as happiness, but honestly, that word is way too small. It's really about human flourishing. It's about living a life that's authentic, that has purpose and meaning, a life that aligns with your deepest values, even when you're facing something as challenging as a chronic illness.
And this idea leads us to a really powerful philosophical tool, Stoicism. The core idea is so simple, but it is a total game changer. You learn to separate what you can control, like your own thoughts, your responses, from what you can't, like the disease itself. And when you pour all your energy into what you can control, that's where you find a deep, deep sense of peace.
This really highlights a fundamental choice, a fork in the road. On one side, you have this resistance to reality. It focuses on what's lost, it can lead to so much frustration, and it feels like your power is always somewhere else. But on the other side, you have psychological acceptance. And this is not about giving up. It's an active, powerful choice to see reality for what it is and focus on what is possible. This is how you take your power back.
And the destination of this journey? There's a beautiful concept for it. Shuror, a Hebrew word for liberation or release. But in this context, it means a psychological freedom from the burden of the illness. The illness might still be there, but you are no longer defined by it, no longer imprisoned by it. It allows you to live a full, amazing life with the condition.
Look, the science and the philosophy, they can offer you a map, but the journey itself is uniquely yours. So the final question, the one that really matters, is for you. What does a flourishing, liberated, and meaningful life look like, right here, right now? Answering that question for yourself, that's the most important step of all. Thanks for joining this explainer.